When there's a blackout, an earthquake, or some other disaster, police, firefighters, and other emergency workers are always there for us. But who's there for them? What happens when the stress of the job builds to the breaking point? Tonight, ABC 7's Carolyn Johnson salutes the volunteers who run the only West Coast retreat that responds to first responders.
August 2001, a massive wildfire burning in Mendocino County claims the lives of two men battling the flames. Battalion Chief Jim Wattenberger watched helplessly as the air tanker pilots crashed into one another, the fiery wreckage slamming into the ground just feet from him. Witnessing the devastating accident took an enormous toll on Wattenberger.
Well, within the first several days of the incident, I started hallucinating, seeing things that weren't really there, scaring my supervisor, scaring my wife, scaring my kids.
For the next 6 months, he slept just a couple of hours a night, haunted by images of the crash.
I wasn't injured physically, and so it was hard to explain to my supervisors what was going on. In the fire service, you're pretty much considered weak if you start having these mental problems.
And then so we go to depression.
Wattenberger turned to the West Coast Post-Trauma Retreat for help, a week-long residential program run entirely by volunteers, many with direct ties to law enforcement, from police psychologists and chaplains to peer counselors.
There wasn't a place where they could see people who will say, look, I've been there. I understand what it's like to go through that, and I'm still alive.
San Rafael police officer and psychologist Joel Fay and Al Benner, a former cop who's also a psychologist, helped develop this program focused specifically on emergency responders.
You're taught to take care of everybody else's needs. You're not taught to take care of your own. And so when you need help, you don't know how to respond to that. You don't know how to ask for it.
I saw people drink themselves to death. I saw people commit suicide. I saw people that went through relationships, and the job will take a bite out of your soul. And we owe it to try to balance that out.
Clients arrive here at the retreat on a Sunday afternoon, and they stay through Friday. But for many of them, this is the last place they want to be.
The first time driving out, all I remember is there's some really sharp turns, and I thought on 2 of them, all I have to do is gun it and go off, and I don't have to do this.
Sue Faria was working as a Sonoma County dispatcher in 1989 when Ramon Salcido killed his mother-in-law and wife and kidnapped their 3 children.
A call came in, and I just treated it like any other call that we had that day, and then the next day found out that that could have been what I thought could have been the kids.
2 of the kids were murdered, and even though the call she took wasn't related to the case, it was too late for Faria. The cumulative stress of her job hit her hard.
They make you go into the incident, and then usually it ends up actually being something else that's the actual bottom of the pile, of the stress pile. But, getting to that is just a really intense process.
It was hard. I mean, and to listen to the comments, well, what are you so upset about?
Sue is now a peer counselor, helping others here make their way through an intense week that changes lives, even saves them.
From the day I went in on Sunday night until the day I graduated on Friday, it was night and day. It was winter to summer. It was the happiest day of your life.
All made possible by volunteers like police chaplain Jan Hegland.
It doesn't seem like you should get paid for it because we gain just as much as they do.
So we know this makes a difference, and so you do it gladly.
People credit us, for saving their lives, or they call us and say, thank you for giving me my wife back again. All these, when you hear that, that's what I get out of it.
And so we salute Joel, Jan, Al, and all the volunteers who make the West Coast Post-Trauma Retreat possible.
For more information on what they do, we have a link to their website, abc7news.com. Go there, look under ABC7 Salutes, and we'll give you the link. That's truly amazing what they do.
Don't think about the strain on these folks. For instance, of 9/11. So
exactly.